when we start looking at the idea behind the old school treatment approach for concussions is we used to just put everybody in a dark room and say, hey man, good luck, you'll get better. Well, now that research is being done on concussions and brain injury recovery, we realize that rest alone does not help the brain heal. Because what happens when you come back out of that dark room or come back out of that controlled stimulus environment is the brain can't handle the influx and stimulus. So it comes back into a chaotic environment, it comes back into your normal routines, and now all of a sudden the brain can't handle that influx of information, so it fights back by giving you symptoms. So the idea behind strict rest as being a treatment for concussions is thankfully becoming less and less widespread and less less prescribed from providers across the world. We start to look at the internet, you're starting to see more of a pushback when it comes to being told to just go out and strict physical, mental, and emotional rest. One of my biggest goals for concussion rehab and going through and talking about concussions in general is to go out and explain to as many different providers as we can, as many different professionals all over the world, to understand the idea that, yeah, we know that the concept of a strict physical and mental rest during concussion recovery is detrimental, but at the same time, there are still so many providers out there that are still telling you, hey, it's no big deal. You'll be better in a couple days. You know, the emergency room, your scans are normal. Go follow up with somebody else. Well, to a patient, they don't take that follow up with somebody else as, hey, there's still a problem here. They take the, hey, your scans are normal. Go home as well. I'll be better in a couple days. Whether they're told, hey, you'll be better in a couple days or not, that's a lot of what patients will tell me is, well, why didn't they tell me I wouldn't feel back to normal in a couple days? Well, because they have to know everything about everything. So concept wise, it's a lot that they have to take in. It's hard for them to follow up with that. That's why on your paperwork on the 12th page of your discharge packet, it says you need to follow up with somebody else. When we start looking at concussions, if you're just sitting in that dark room or listening to the, hey, go home and take it easy for a while, a couple days turns to a couple weeks, turns to, well, when am I supposed to feel better? Because now I'm getting terrible just sitting in this dark room. Because when there's not enough stimulus being presented, or when we're not out in our normal routines or our normal environments, there's less energy being produced by the brain. Therefore, there's less energy available and everything just feels harder.